Good evening, everyone, everywhere. This is Ted Husing speaking, ready to bring you from the Chicago Stadium another great Wednesday night Pabst Blue Ribbon bout. Tonight's Blue Ribbon event, a 10-round battle between Vern Mitchell of Detroit and Bob Satterfield of Chicago. At this moment in the ring, Len Sterling is making the introduction, so let's look in on the ring.
Wearing white and black trunks, Vern Mitchell. From Chicago's South Side, weight 185 pounds, wearing black and white trunks, Bob Satterfield. And here is your referee with the instructions for the boys, Norm McGarity. Bob, I want to know who your team second is first. And Vern, who's yours? That here? All right, now just a word to you men. You men are responsible for you boys in the corner. I want you to see that when that buzzer rings, that corner is clean. You may remain on the outside of the ring with your boy till the bell rings. Another thing, if you put water or anything on your boys, see this wiped off before he answers the bell. You understand that? Should there be any complaint to make, you must make it personally. Now, that's it. As to you boys, you know, you're boxing straight rules. We get in a clinch, and I say break, I want you to step back clean. You may box in a clinch as long as you have one arm free, but you can't hold with one hand and punch with the other. Another thing is knockdowns. In case of a knockdown, you must take an 8 count. In case you should happen to get knocked on the outside of the ring, onto the apron, you're still only entitled to an 8 count. Should you go off onto the floor, then you have 18 counts. You understand that? Another thing is fouls. A deliberate punch to the back of the neck or over the kidneys is a foul the same as a low blow, and you'll be penalized for it. You understand? Now, is there any further questions you'd like to ask? Okay, shake hands now. It's not boxing. Protect yourselves at all times.
Bob Satterfield, that flashy Chicago light heavyweight contender, takes on a very tough cookie tonight in the person of Vern Mitchell, Detroit's busy heavyweight, in this feature slugfest scheduled for 10 rounds. You're looking now at Vern Mitchell, who will be coming out of the corner to our left, beyond our Pabst Blue Ribbon microphone for round number 1. In the white trunks, Vern Mitchell. In the black trunks, Bob Satterfield. Satterfield at 185, about the heaviest he's been. Vern Mitchell at 190. Two minutes to go of the first round at the Chicago Stadium. In the black trunks, Bob Satterfield. In the white, Vern Mitchell. Mitchell is bleeding from his left nostril ever so lightly. That right by Satterfield has brought more claret from Mitchell's nose, and both these fighters are having outstanding years this year. Are both having an outstanding year, I should say. One minute to go of the first round. Half a minute to go of the first round. Vern Mitchell is bleeding quite profusely. It's splattering his trunks now. That counter really caught Satterfield off balance. There's the bell ending round number one. The first round of feeling out process between the two boys, with Satterfield scoring some quite damaging punches on Mitchell's nose. Well, looky here. Now, there's what I call a perfect Christmas gift. Perfect tasting Pabst Blue Ribbon in the handy 6 carton, all decked out in beautiful colors for Christmas. Yes, sir, here's just the thing for everyone on your list who enjoys fine beer. And who doesn't? 6 taste-filled cans of that smoother Pabst Blue Ribbon. Finest beer served anywhere. So pick up a few of these Christmas gift handy 6 cartons when you're shopping tomorrow. And get some for yourself. Because, brother, Pabst Blue Ribbon in your refrigerator is the finest thing you can have in the house for entertaining over the coming holidays. There's the buzzer indicating round number 2 here at the Chicago Stadium in the heavyweight bout between Vern Mitchell, at whom you are now gazing, from Detroit, and Bob Satterfield from Chicago. Despite the work of his seconds, Mitchell is bleeding again after the first punch was landed by Satterfield in this second round. Bleeding from the nose. Two minutes to go of the second round. Of course, that bleeding nose is a good object for Satterfield to go for, and he grunts every time he throws a right. Of course, on the contrary side, the bleeding nose is bothering Mitchell. One minute to go of the second round. Half a minute to go of the second round. Here at the Chicago Stadium, Bob Satterfield of Chicago in the black trunks, Vern Mitchell of Detroit in the white trunks. There's the bell ending the second round. And now, while we're watching Vern Mitchell go to his corner, let me just speak about both boys abstractly. Satterfield, who is a fast-moving boxer with a good left jab, as you see, has won 25 out of 37 bouts, and his good right-hand punch has accounted for 19 knockouts. Mitchell, a very good plotter, usually is busy constantly with both hands. And tonight he'd rather hope to overpower Satterfield with his steady barrage, as he has done with 56 of his 65 opponents. Early in his career, Mitchell was a knockout artist, but coming out of the Army after serving, he slowed down to boxing. And as a knockout artist, he accounted for 34 KO victories. Now, looking at Bob Satterfield in the other corner, I'd like to remind you again that both of these fighters are having outstanding years. Satterfield winning 3 out of 4, including a 6-round knockout over Lee Omar. And I noticed that Mitchell is trying some of Omar's tactics in jiggling and dancing. Mitchell has lost only 2 out of 10, defeating Mike Buhar in his last appearance on November 29th. Mitchell's seconds do stop the flow of the blood in between rounds, but every time Satterfield hits him on the right side of his face or the left side, the blood starts coming again. Two minutes to go of the third round. A minute to go of the third round. Both of these boys get a little angry at each other on occasions, as you well witnessed. Half a minute to go, third round. Mitchell has never been knocked out in 65 fights. Satterfield has been knocked out 6 times in 37 fights. There's the end of the third round. Say, did you hear the one about the waitress down at the restaurant? Well, listen to this. You're looking in at the Chicago Stadium, and the buzzer has just sounded, as you note, for round number 4 in this bout between Vern Mitchell of Detroit, at whom we are now gazing, and from the other corner, Bob Satterfield in the black trunks. A heavyweight bout. Satterfield 185, Mitchell 190. Two minutes to go, fourth round. The blood is flowing again from Mitchell's left nostril. And when he rubs his hand over it, it spreads all over his face and makes a gory mess here. It hasn't hampered him since the first round, however, as far as his activity is concerned. Of Mitchell, there is always said he has the never do or die spirit. He keeps it going. One minute to go, the fourth round. Half a minute to go, the fourth round. That blow was a clean right from Satterfield, and Mitchell had his head or his back to you. Perhaps you didn't see it clearly. You saw that one, of course. Well, as the end of the fourth round, and Mitchell has now changed his tactics with that left. He's jabbing away at the left eye of Bob Satterfield. It is bloody, but I don't know whether it's from the Mitchell nose or from Satterfield. And as I look now, it's apparently from Satterfield. He has a slight cut there. They've washed the blood away, and the eye is just a little bit evidently upset. I would say so. Say, by the way, next Wednesday night, we've got a great Christmas boxing card for you from, well, naturally, good old St. Nicholas Arena in New York. It's going to be a 10-round lightweight bout between Sonny Boy West of Washington, D.C., who gave Ike Williams the challenge of his life earlier this year, and Percy Bassett of Philadelphia, one of the ring's top-ranking lightweights. So make next Wednesday and every Wednesday your Pabst Blue Ribbon Fight Night here on television. We'll be coming up now for round number 5 of this 10-round bout here at the Chicago Stadium between Vern Mitchell and Bob Satterfield. And now Satterfield has a bit of collodion metha over the left eye. Let's see what happens. Mitchell's left nostril, Satterfield's left eye. As you see, Satterfield is slowed down looking for the spot. Mitchell is changing his tactics and trying to be a bit busier. 2 minutes to go of the fifth round. Where Satterfield has that stiff, straight left and that good right. As you notice, Mitchell is depending entirely upon a flicking left, and he doesn't cross to the right or even throw it. A minute to go of the fifth round. Well, that was a slip. Well, I'll tell you, Pabst is mighty happy to bring you this Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Half a minute to go of the fifth round. The eye is cut pretty badly now, and it's beginning to bleed on Bob Satterfield. And, of course, the nose of Mitchell's constantly bleeds. There's the bell ending round number 5. And now Mitchell has done what he wanted to do. As he looks up at the clock, and also to see what round it is, he has been able to inflict an injury upon his adversary, and the doctor, J.M. Houston, is going to look at Bob Satterfield's cut eye. Say, do you want to know how to judge truly fine beer? Well then, brother, just pour yourself a glass of Pabst Blue Ribbon and make the three-way expert's test. See that clear color and look for that creamy head. Ah, yes, sniff that fragrant Blue Ribbon blend. Then taste the flavor the whole world knows. Finest beer served anywhere. Yowza, yowza, yowza. How about pouring a glass right now? What'll you have? Certainly, Pabst Blue Ribbon. And round number 6 now coming up, and the equalizer is beginning to show itself. The busy fighter, Vern Mitchell of Detroit, and the bombardier, Bob Satterfield. Just for the record, Mitchell's nose is bleeding again. It may be that Satterfield's other eye is now open and bleeding. Yes, Satterfield's right eye is now cut and bleeding. 2 minutes to go of the 6th round. It's a gory, bloody battle. It's at the Chicago Stadium. In the black trunks, Bob Satterfield of Chicago. In the white trunks, Vern Mitchell of Detroit. I think even our picture reveals that Mitchell is bleeding rather profusely. And those jabs at the nose keep it bleeding. A minute to go of the 6th round here at Chicago. Half a minute to go of this very exciting contest as Mitchell keeps coming on. Satterfield looking for the opening. There's an old adage in ring law that when a man takes a Sunday punch and still is on his feet, well, things are liable to change. As you saw, Satterfield was punching in the last 30 seconds, and Mitchell was taking, at the same time, countering effectively. And so in this bloody battle here at Chicago Stadium, It has been something of a delight for the fans who like battles like this. Bob Satterfield taking an early advantage and Vern Mitchell coming on. And they're being attended to in their corners by their seconds. Hey, here's one for all of you bowlers. Tomorrow night, Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Brunswick-Balke Cullender Company will bring you from the Chicago Coliseum the 10th Annual Individual All-Star Match Game Bowling Championship. This special bowling event will be telecast in many cities tomorrow night and Sunday night. See your newspaper for time and for station. Round number 7 coming up, and Pabst Blue Ribbon beer mighty happy to throw it at you. That man's nose is bleeding again. He must feel pretty cocky treating Satterfield the way he does in this 7th round. But I mean those dancing tactics, dropping his hands and so forth. That blow was right on the belt line and caused the people on the other side of the ring to boo a little bit. Two minutes to go here in the 7th round. Well, pardon me, 1 minute to go here in the 7th round at the Chicago Stadium. Quite a belting beauty between Bobby Satterfield and Vern Mitchell. Half a minute to go. There's the end of the 7th round. Bob Satterfield has been setting Vern Mitchell up most of the evening for those clear shots that he has had at his face, whether he wheels to throw the left and then follow with the right, or to throw the right and follow with the left, as the case may be. Mitchell seems at loss as to how to get inside the guard of Bob Satterfield. On occasions he does when Satterfield makes an error and gets off balance. Oh, say before Andy 6 Christmas cartons at your dealers. Ask for Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's the finest ale served anywhere. It's a whale of an ale, and it makes a whale of a gift for Christmas. We're coming up now on round number 8 of this 10-rounder between these heavyweights, Vern Mitchell and Bob Satterfield. Satterfield is 27 years of age. Vern Mitchell is 23 years of age. Other than that, they're both approximately 6 feet. Satterfield says he's 5'11 and a half. And their weights are almost the same. 2 minutes to go of the 8th round. That man is bleeding again. Vern Mitchell just won't stop. One minute to go of the 8th round. The apparent great difference between both boys, the heavy punching of Satterfield and the cream puff type of punching, so it seems, by Vern Mitchell, who, however, can hit. Mitchell, who is bleeding and swallowing blood, looked at the clock to see how much further the round had to go, so he'll hang on and waste time with a half a minute yet remaining of this 8th round. Mitchell is not a pleasant sight this round. There's the bell ending the 8th round. Our camera now follows Vern Mitchell back to his corner. He has engaged in 65 fights managed by Nick Piazza. He's won 56, lost 8. He knocked out 34 men early in his career, has never been knocked out. And those seconds working on him now are Ben Robbins, Julie Piazza, and Teddy McWhorter. He had quite a career before he went in the Army. He was belting them all over the place. He's a dead game battler who plugs away with both hands, as you've seen. And he's whipped some pretty good men. Last year, he defeated Cesar Breon, losing a close one to Breon this year. Over in the other corner, we take a look at Bob Satterfield, managed by 74-year-old Ike Bernstein, who's in the ring with Sonny Jim Williams and Eddie Nichols. Satterfield had 37 fights, won 25, lost 10. Knocked out 19 of the men he's faced in the 25 wins, but he's been knocked out himself 6 times. He looked like the greatest young fighter to come up in years when he started out, and he's had an up-and-down career since he was matched with Jake LaMotta in 1946 and was knocked out in 7 rounds. Mitchell's certainly been a catcher tonight, of that there is no doubt. And I'm rather surprised he hasn't opened up with his old knockout attempts, that is, just storming in. Two minutes to go of the 9th round of this 10-rounder here at the Chicago Stadium. Vern Mitchell, Bob Satterfield. Third man in the ring is Norm McGarity. There's a minute to go of the ninth round, and for the first indication, Mitchell blinked the last time he was hit. Hadn't done that through the fight. Half a minute to go of round 9 of this Pier 6 brawl between Bob Satterfield and Vern Mitchell. There's the bell ending round number 9, and despite the fact that Vern Mitchell has taken all of the Sunday punches that Bob Satterfield has thrown, still Satterfield has kept throwing them in the hope that he can flatten Mitchell for the record book and make him marked up as the first man to have so been able to topple the Detroiter. But Mitchell seems to come on, and I don't know what else can be said for him because Satterfield keeps punching at him. Say, this weekend, you know, the holiday parties are going to be in full swing. I guess you know what that means. Tall, foaming glasses of the finest beer served anywhere. So stock up right now. Tomorrow when your dealer says, what'll you have? Well, you know, order a couple of cases of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Well, that's the beer with the flavor the whole world knows. Yes, and for those hard-to-please men on your Christmas list, give the gift that's always in good taste, that smoother-tasting Pabst Blue Ribbon. Finest beer served anywhere. 10th and final round, the boys come out, shake hands. Norm McGarity watches, and here it is, final round. Two minutes to go, 10th and final round. Back in May, Satterfield knocked out Lee Oma. Lee Oma knocked him out in 6, fought him again and lost to him. The only loss he's had this year out of 4 bouts.
Let him go, Bob. Let him go, Bob.
Satterfield is a powerful puncher. Whether it's a left hook, left jab, straight right. One minute to go of this 10-round fight, 10th and final round. Bob Satterfield in the black trunks from Chicago. Vern Mitchell in the white trunks from Detroit. The camera, I think, and you can see it, reveals exactly how bloodied are those white trunks in the front on Mitchell. He has been bleeding through every round. Half a minute to go, 10th round, final round. Well, she's almost over. There it is, the bell. Both men on their feet at the bell. Both shake hands, as you see. And Bob Satterfield, I think, gave a very good performance here tonight, yet the gallery starts to boo. Whatever it is they're booing about, we don't know. Here, because we concentrate on what's doing at ringside. Vern Mitchell, in his 65 fights, as I told you, has never been knocked out early in his career. Knocked out 34 of the 56 men he faced, but he's evidently lost that knockout punch. And this year, he has won 7 bouts, lost 2, and he had 1 draw. He lost to Cesar Brion, and he lost to Leoma, who was later knocked out a month later by the man he met tonight, Bob Satterfield. As Len Sterling collects the cards and presents them to the members of the Illinois State Boxing Commission, they will be tabulated in the point system. One of the judges, B. Franklin Childs. I think the other judge was Dr. Alan Frankel. Of course, you know Norman McGarity was the referee. And now we'll get the decision from Len Sterling.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the officials scoring by points. Referee Norm McGarity, 56-44 for Bob Satterfield. Judge B. Franklin Childs, 56-44 for Bob Satterfield. Judge Dr. Alan Frankel, 57-43 for Bob Satterfield. Unanimously, Bob Satterfield.
Well, of course, there was no doubt about that one. I think it was a unanimous decision. And Norm McGarity, the referee, with 56 points to 44, was matched by one of the judges, Franklin Childs, who had the same score. Dr. Alan Frankel was a bit more generous with 57 points to 43 for Satterfield. Now, next